Okay, so this is my latest iteration of my Vector plane, the VLC version, so it's the Cadex 4K camera version. So what changes I've made to this, I've made changes to the vertical stabilizers. They're now made of PVC, which means they're very true and they're pushed forward compared to the older ones, which are made of polypropylene, which have warps in them. So now, because they're more forward on the actual wing, they're out of the prop wash of the propeller. So hopefully this will improve overall tracking, stability, and maybe stop this kind of fishtailing I was getting when I sort of went full power or 3/4 power. Possibly make it a little bit quieter because the air is not slapping up against the vertical stabilizers. Also on this plane I'm now running Inav 5.0 with all the goodies on that, including auto launch. And I've got to say, auto launch is the way forward. After hundreds of flights, learning how to fly this thing manually and getting in the air without, after many crashes, finally figuring it out. It doesn't take, it takes one off day. You have a crash and then you maybe damage your lens, like I've scratched my lens here, damaged the wing, and then you've got to rebuild the plane. But I've got to say, as long as you put all the details in correctly and do it methodically, the auto launch works brilliantly. It's definitely, I'd say, the future, the way forward for me anyway, launching a plane. So it just takes that stress out of getting the plane in the air. So I'm going to put a battery on it today, get it flying out here in the fields, so it's nice and quiet, and yeah, see how she goes. Okay, so let's pre-arm, and the VTX will change power. That's the way I've set it. Arm, auto launch exit mode, just position hold, exit throttle, okay, and launch. There she goes, climbing away. Okay, she's reached 10 seconds or 100 meters is set to, and she's entered position hold. So obviously I was careful not to touch the transmitter while I put my FPV goggles on, and I've just transitioned now, so I've switched off position hold and I'm flying. So what I've done is I have set my auto launch throttle to, well, I set it originally to 60%, now it's on 55, and even that can drop. Also 30-degree climb angle, which is quite steep. It's good if you want to clear trees or obstacles in your location. I believe that's the angle used on City Airport, so I've seen them coming in, taking off. It's quite a steep angle, but the problem with this steep angle and sort of 6% throttle is you're gonna burn through quite a bit of your battery. You might go through a third of it if you're by the time you launch and get ready. So you need to have a compromise between getting it airborne without hitting anything, and also having enough power in case you have a little bit of gust of wind or something like that. So I think with that it's just a bit of an experiment. With this one, because the power to ratio is quite high, I can afford to drop that down a little bit. So I'm going to change that, and that'll probably end up being, I'd say, 25%, maybe 50% throttle. Obviously, unless I go somewhere, I've got to get it high quickly, and then I'll change it. But for now, Inav auto launch is, as I said, the way forward. It's perfect. It just flies so well. You can have an off day like I've done with this, smack it in the ground after hundreds and hundreds of flights of learning how to fly it manually, and then you scratch the lens, which I've done on the Loris, and unfortunately Cadex have got it out of stock and I can't see it being back in stock. So I'm going to try RunCam 2.1, which is as close as I can get to the original lens, fit that and sort of have a play around with it. But yeah, Inav 5.0 and this combination, this plane just works beautifully. The designers have done a really good job. It's amazing, really. So yeah, she flies really, really well. Today there's no breeze at all, but I have launched this in 7 to 9 mile an hour winds head on, and it's had no issues. I had issues trying to land it again, but when it gusted, but climbing up and launching, no issues at all. So it's a beautiful morning this morning, very clear. I got up early to make the most of it. Auto tune I've completed on this, and I think it's probably going to fly as well as it can. I've messed about with gyro flow because obviously the Cat Explorer doesn't provide gyro data, but the black box log does. And I also used DaVinci Resolve, and I've actually found DaVinci Resolve to be better at actually stabilising the footage if there's not too much of a shake in it. So maybe that's just me because I don't know how to use gyro flow. So yeah, so at the moment, I think I'll just carry on the way I am, maybe change the front and get a RunCam Pro and get that in and see how she flies with that, because obviously that's about the same width as the nose as the Vector. So yeah. Improvements, maybe the wing, maybe make some ribs for it to make the profile more teardrop, more consistent, and get some more efficiency possibility without increasing the weight. Okay, so a bit of a brief flight today, but let's try and get her back in now. I'm taking my head off. Whoop, there I am. Let's get her down. Whoop. There we go. Okay, thanks for watching.